stuck energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend, let your mind be free.
So I want to let you guys know that the Trauma to Triumph, we're going to be doing it at a later date. Thank you guys for everybody that actually came to that particular event and, got to witness as the hippie is okay. She's doing good. She was able to recover her things. So thank you guys for the ones that showed up and that were in a chat and ready to view, um, just check things out. But this particular, what I'm doing here is, you know, I just been on some different ish, you know what I'm saying? And I want to share it with y'all because like I've just been on some different ish, you know what I'm saying? TikTok, all that stuff, and showing me some just crazy stuff. So I want to share y'all, and also like I love like the biggest thing is like the YouTube when it compiles these things, right? So it's a creator called Jet Ski Chuck, okay, and he um has a really great compilation of like TikTok videos that like will blow your mind, right? So I want to like talk about those and give my reaction to those particular videos. They're talking about a lot of like interesting things, like really crazy stuff that right now we're just so focused on P Diddy and blah blah blah. Like I'm like, dude, there's bigger stuff out here, fish to fry than P Diddy. So we're gonna talk about some other stuff today, okay? So let's get to it.
Red Sea location. Oh, that's the Red Sea? Okay. Where would the Red Sea be? United States. Red Sea, Utah? There's no way. It dried up? That definitely looks like water. Tell me that doesn't look like water used to be there. Mount Nebo, Utah. What? There's a Mount Nebo, Utah? Moab, that sounds familiar. The Moabites? Lock in and buckle up because you're in for another creepy and scary TikTok reaction video. I'm Jet Chuck, and on these dark waters, you got to keep your head on a swivel because you don't know what's going to come at you. Let's get into it. Oh, we've got your ass. We've got your ass now. This is the La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. And the people that said they built this, they didn't build it. This is what you call Moorish Tartarian. So the mainstream narrative says.
So if y'all don't know what the Tartarians are Tartarians are is that they actually believe that like there was a whole civilization that existed that was futuristic and everything like that, way past what exists now. So that's where Tartaria is what they say.
They started building this before Nelson Mandela was alive. They said they started building this before Morgan Freeman was alive, before World War One and World War Two. They're saying they started building this at the last reset in the 1800s. So you're trying to tell me this took 141 years to build and you still haven't finished it yet? There's still scaffolding on the roof, brother. So they like to say the original architect suddenly died halfway through, and they rely on funding every year to, no, listen, mate, don't lie. You haven't got the blueprints for this one. You don't know how to build it, because look how ugly and mash up the building really is. This is what you call melted brick. This building was here before the mud flood. This building was there when the Moors ruled Spain. And when you look for construction photos, all you get is something like this.
So for those that don't know about the mud flood, what the mud flood is that they believe that there was like this whole big like mud flood that like covered up all these like big ancient buildings, and that they just built two buildings on top of them. So if you were to like go deeper inside the ground, you would find like that there's buildings underneath the ground that existed like even before like this. So that's what the mud flood is.
This don't look like a building site. This looks like a reset rescue mission. So no, you man didn't build that building. The Moorish Tartarians did.
The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted.
The true location of the land of Judah, continuing my series on the possibility that biblical history happened in the Americas. Today we're going to be talking about the real location of the land of Judah. Now, what makes the tribe of Judah so important in the Bible? The tribe of Judah became the most powerful and most important tribe. Not only did it produce the great kings David and Solomon, but also it was prophesied that the Messiah would come from among its members. The kingdom of Judah was in Utah. The best-selling book When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler has already demonstrated that Peru was Jerusalem and that the kingdom of Judah is in Utah. How did Mr. Butler prove that the kingdom of Judah was in Utah? Well, he used biblical verses from Deuteronomy chapter 34, verses 1 through 3, which reads as follows. And Moses went up from the plains of Moab onto the mountain of Nebo to the top of Pisgah, that is over Jericho. And the Lord showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan, and all Naphtali and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah unto utmost sea, and the south and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, unto Zoar. The strange thing about the description of the kingdom of Judah given in Deuteronomy chapter 34 is that all these biblical place names can be found in Utah. Such as Manasseh, Utah, Mount Nebo, Utah, Mount Pisgah, Utah, Jericho, Utah, South Gilead Way, Utah, Ephraim.
I'm sorry, my phone, my thing was on mute. So let me tell you something. So when I was a kid, my mom used to send me off to the Mormon church, right? Who's in Utah? The Mormons, right? The Mormons believe that Jesus Christ was in Utah, right? Now, what this is pretty much saying is that America is the Middle East, right? So I don't believe it either way. I don't know what's going on, but this is what's creepy about this. So, and they believe that Jesus came to Utah and that he gave the Book of Mormon to the Mormons. the Latter-day Saints.
Utah, Daniel, Utah, Nephi, Utah, short for Naphtali, Moab, Utah, and many other biblical names are found in Utah, such as Goshen, Utah, Jordan Salt Lake, which could possibly be the real Dead Sea. There is a mountain in eastern Nevada named Mount Moriah, and it's over 12,000 feet high. In Utah, not only is there a river Jordan, but it runs out of a freshwater lake and into the Great Salt Lake, which is remarkably like the Dead Sea. There is also a Mount Nebo in Utah, approximately 12,000 feet high. So yes, with evidence this strong, the real Judah was possibly in Utah. Now, people often try to say that it was the Mormons that gave these places names.
That's what it sounds like closer to, that maybe they like were trying to duplicate what was going on over there to like solidify their claims, you know what I'm saying, of Jesus coming to, you know what I'm saying? But it's interesting nonetheless.
Names in Utah, biblical names to support their position as Jews. However, this explanation fails miserably because there are no 12,000 feet high mountains in modern-day Jerusalem. Therefore, the real Judah or Israel has to be in Utah because it fits the description of the kingdom of Judah perfectly. Now, one of the criticisms I would get for looking into the possibility that much of biblical history happened into the Americas is that I'm stepping into Mormon territory. However, I do not believe in any denomination whatsoever. So just because I look into the possibility of biblical history happening somewhere else doesn't make me part of any denomination. I also believe that we should limit our use of technologies such as social media and artificial intelligence.
Hey, he said he couldn't have said that any better. I'm with him on that.
Me too. Me too.
But that doesn't make me an Amish. So often people say that the reason Utah has all these biblical names was because of the Mormons. But the reality is all these names were given by the natives found throughout Utah. Such as the name Utah itself, it is derived from the name of the Oti tribe. It means people of the mountains in the Oti language. According to other sources, Utah is derived from the Apache name Yuta, which means tall. In the Spanish language, it was said as Utah. Subsequently, the English-speaking people adapted the word Utah. There is no J in Hebrew, therefore Judah is Yuda, especially when you consider the fact that the J and Y
Bro, what?
have the same meaning in numerical value and are interchangeable as a result.
What?
Now, all across Utah, you have fascinating rock formations, very unique compared to the rest of the Americas. And one of the most fascinating places in Utah is Moab, Utah. In the Bible, Moab comes from the name Moabites, which belong to the same ethnic stock as the Israelites. Their ancestral founder was Moab, a son of Lot, who was a nephew of the Israelite patriarch Abraham. The Moabites were known to be the enemies of God's people. The kingdom of Moab would constantly mistreat the Israelites. And as a result, to punish the Moabites for mistreating the Israelites, God destroyed Moab's kingdom. And as I've mentioned before, one of the most fruitful things you can study in the Bible is what God's wrath looks like. Whenever God shows his wrath in the scriptures, it often seems to be in the form of a consuming fire. We see examples of this in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, where God made it rain fire and brimstone. But Sodom and Gomorrah is not the only kingdom that experienced a consuming fire. Many kingdoms throughout the Bible have experienced God's consuming fire, including Sodom and Gomorrah and the Egyptians, but also the Moabites, such as found in the book of Amos, chapter 2, verse 2. But I will send a fire upon Moab, and it shall devour the palaces of Kerioth, and Moab shall die with tumult, with shouting, and with the sound of the trumpet. So throughout the scripture, God says that he destroyed Moab with a consuming fire. And what do we find that's very interesting in Moab, Utah? All throughout the location of Moab, Utah, you find very fascinating rock formations. Now, we're told in school that these are the process of natural erosion through millions and millions of years. But what if Moab, Utah is...
That looks like those Tartarian buildings.
Man, listen, y'all. Listen, I just now started getting into this whole America is Egypt thing, you know, and it's been blowing my mind. You know what I'm saying? This is deep. So I also put the StreamYard link in. So if you guys, anybody want to come up and talk about this, please feel free. The StreamYard link is in the chat. So
Tell me that doesn't look like those Tartarians. Hold on, Moabites. Where have I heard? Moab. The Moabs did it first. Moabites. Hold on.
is the result of God's consuming fire. And this place is the true location of the Moabites that got consumed by fire. The first example I want to show you of fascinating rock formations is the church rock just south of Moab. It's a very interesting, fascinating rock formation that looks like it possibly in the past was once a temple. The look of this structure doesn't look like it was the process of natural erosion, but it looks as if it used to be some kind of monument that went through a cataclysm. And we're just simply told that all these fascinating rock formations are the process of nature and just natural erosion through millions of years. But when you really look around all across Moab, Utah, and just all across Utah in general, these rock formations look like the layouts of cities. As the Bible states, God's wrath is a consuming fire, and that he will cause kingdoms to melt like wax, making them pretty much unrecognizable from their glorious original state. So yeah, all across Utah, Moab, Utah, you find very interesting structures that possibly were pyramids, and kingdoms, and castles, and idols. But we're just told, oh, this is nothing interesting. This is the process of natural erosion. So now the famous old questions that a lot of believers like to ask. Why would the devil lie about biblical locations? Why does it matter? It matters because it hides true biblical history, and it also hides proof of God's wrath and what God can do to an entire kingdom in the blink of an eye. I hope you guys found this very fruitful and interesting.
The Moabites are the Tartarians. That looks like the Batcave entrance or something. Did they forget to close it? What's going on?
That's
That
only
is
like, that's not
nuts.
even a natural structure.
What is that?
Look at how that's cut into the mountains. What?
Hiding at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. While the 1850s saw the Grand Canyon bustling with gold mining activities, the sheer volume of gold that was unearthed caused the market value of gold to plunge. There is something hiding at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. While the 1850s saw the Grand Canyon bustling with gold mining activities, the sheer volume of gold that was unearthed caused the market value of gold to plunge dramatically. To prevent further devaluation, the site was promptly shut down and designated as a protected area, barring anyone from further exploiting its riches. Yet the canyon's mysteries didn't stop at gold. Seth Tanner, an intrepid explorer of his time, delved deep into one of the Grand Canyon's caves and reported an astonishing find: ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Building on this discovery, Tanner put forth a riveting theory. He believed that nestled within the Grand Canyon was none other than the elusive city of El Dorado, the fabled city of gold. If Tanner's theory holds water, it would mean that the heart of the canyon conceals an immense treasure. The implications of such a find would be colossal, potentially destabilizing the global gold market. Now, years after Tanner's claim, a new generation of enthusiasts and truth seekers have taken up the mantle, venturing into the Grand Canyon in hopes of unveiling its secrets.
What are they actually trying to hide in the Grand Canyon? But if we look at those excavators that was digging up all off the coast, I'm pretty sure they could have hit the Grand Canyon, or they could have already got what was already there. Your guys' thoughts below. Did they find whatever they were excavating in the Grand Canyon? In that.
Silicon is the second most abundant element found in Earth's crust after oxygen. Silicon is structurally very similar to carbon. Many scientists have theorized that silicon-based life is possible. When silicon interacts with oxygen, it turns into quartz. This is a carbon-based tree, and this is a silicon-based tree. History is a lie. There was a silicon era in which trees grew to enormous heights, and they were made primarily of crystal, just like quartz. What we call rocks today are really just fragments of old giant trees and other living organisms. Rocks and stone are the phase between silicon and carbon life forms. There are no petrified organisms, just the remains of silicon-era organisms. More than 75% of the Earth's volcanoes reside in the Ring of Fire. a major area in the basin of the Pacific Ocean, the deepest ocean on Earth. Look at this image of our oceans without water. You can see the scarring and trenches on the ocean's floor. This is where they dug and mined the most. The Ring of Fire is home to the deepest trench on Earth, the Mariana Trench. It measures 2,550 kilometers in length and is over 10,000 meters deep. Look at all the other trenches in this area. It is not a coincidence that the largest volcano on Earth, the Tamu Massive, is located right next to these trenches under the water. It is the size of the United Kingdom. The extent of the mining here has created 452 ocean waste piles, or what they call volcanoes. You see, there never used to be oceans on Earth like we know them now. What is now the oceans was once covered in deep silicon crystal. All life was primarily silicon-based. Silicon does not need water to grow. It is very different from the carbon-based life that we know of and experience as humans. Only carbon-based life needs water to survive. Scientists have found an unusual amount of carbon in the ice of the Earth's poles that dates back thousands of years. This high amount of carbon in the ice shouldn't be there. They tell us its recent presence is because of burning fossil fuels since the Industrial Revolution, but that doesn't explain the carbon that dates back thousands of years. It suggests there was a huge worldwide fire at some point in our history. Carbon was brought into Earth. Silicon is usually bound with oxygen. We are told that in order to reduce the silicon to its purest state, which means removing the oxygen molecules, carbon must be used. Silicon is purified through a reaction with carbon in the form of coal, charcoal, and heating to 2,000 degrees in a furnace. They mined the silicon out of Earth and harvested the giant silicon trees and used a vast amount of carbon to purify the silicon.
Bro, I don't know if this is a real person talking, but who talks like that? Like, he sounds crazy.
Our oceans contain 38,000 gigatons of carbon. 1 gigaton equals to 1 billion tons. But silicon is the second most abundant element in the Earth's crust. Carbon presence in the Earth's crust is actually very low. Carbon life was never meant to be. Earth would never have favored carbon-based
AI,
life
bro.
over other possible choices.
Silicon.
A creator would never have favored carbon over silicon. Silicon would form an unbelievable, beautiful world. It binds to oxygen 5 times stronger than carbon. Carbon is weaker and combined with many other elements.
That might be why there were
Because of
giants.
this, our lives are short
Dinosaurs.
and susceptible to disease.
I want to know is what type of machine could excavate, who could just dig off in the coast like that? What type of machine could be capable of that? What I want to know is
Man, maybe
what
that.
I want to know is what type of machines could be.
Man, maybe those silicone was why dinosaurs existed. You know what I'm saying? And giants, because they were like not even, they were dealing with silicone and not carbon. They were silicone based beings. That's interesting.
Because how are they finding mummies in Nevada? Last time I checked, Nevada is in the Americas. Check this video out. And shout out to Amaru Book Club for the gem.
Nevada mummy. Let's stop right there. They have mummies in Nevada? Mummies in Nevada? Where are the mummies, everybody? Egypt.
Doesn't
Right.
really look that high.
Africa. You think so? We're going to discover some more now. Okay, this says, anthropologists say man found in a cave in 1940 is more than 9,400 years old. Okay? Check it out. The remains are kept a secret in a secret location in Carson City Museum. Officials allow reporters to view the mummy on the conditions the site would not be disclosed.
So they've been keeping.
Welcome to the Grand Canyon, a natural wonder that captures the hearts and minds of millions of visitors each year. The Grand Canyon is a river valley on the Colorado Plateau, located in the state of Arizona, and is often referred to as one of the wonders of the world. The Grand Canyon is 277 miles or 446 kilometers long. The plateau is up to 18 miles or 29 kilometers wide. The canyon is over a mile deep, 6,093 feet or 1,857. Those areas with high uranium content and a map with the location of uranium mines. Then I compared it to a map of the Grand Canyon, and what do you think? The canyon fell within the area of maximum uranium concentrations. There is a ban on uranium mining in the Grand Canyon watershed of over 1 million acres. 2-year moratorium on new mining claims after the public lands surrounding the Grand Canyon became the site of uranium fever. By the time the moratorium was announced, thousands of mining claims had already been filed. That is, earlier, before all the uranium-bearing rock in the area had been fully mined out. Only the volume that later became the Grand Canyon was mined out. The canyon area is full of decently sized signs that warn of radiation. In 2011, the radioactive background increased 7 times.
You think a asteroid hit that sucker? That's why it's a canyon. Like a big old asteroid hit that sucker, and like that's why it's uranium, or like even a bomb or something from back in the day. Like maybe like they were warring and they had like nuclear weapons and stuff like that that we didn't even realize, and that was probably the first group of people that got killed. You know what I'm saying?
Many assumed it was because of the Fukushima accident that happened 6 months earlier. But Japan is far away, so I assume that along with the rain fell radioactive local dust that was blown into the atmosphere by the wind. You say, if ore was mined here, where are the signs of ore mining? Let's take a closer look at the tiered structure of the canyon. Just to make it clear,
Listen, y'all.
let's take a look
It's
at
hard to
why
listen to
not
that
mining.
AI. That AI voice, man.
Sunlight in every direction.
When I have the opportunity to go back to Sedona, I will give you guys and I will go back on it. I will go back on this tour just to create live footage, live videos of these. Because this is for real. This is for real. Nobody playing like no games. Like we're not clout chasing. We trying to get you hip to your own fucking lineage. We trying to make you aware of your power, because they got you thinking that your power is somewhere across the ocean. No, it is not. Your power is right here in the United States. They have found ancient relics, gold tablets within the Grand Canyon, and they don't want you to know this. The more they have you looking far away from yourself, the longer it would take for you to come and step into your true power. And ain't nobody on here debating with y'all. You don't have to believe this. You do not have to believe this, but it is the truth. Because I have seen this with my very own eyes. This is Thunder Rock. This is a temple. I stood on a mountain right across from this, and it is a ancient temple sitting right there in front of us.
Yeah, go to
People
Arizona,
go to
y'all.
Arizona all the time because they know this. People don't know this before our people know this. The Asians, they stay in Sedona. The Anglos, the Caucasians, they stay in Sedona because they know what's there. Do you understand? And it is us who are original from this place who don't even believe, right? Look at that we are from this land. This is our land.
Wow. So that I've been like studying about
Hey, you guys.
that Egypt is in
Just wanted
America,
to
y'all.
share a few photos. I recently moved to Arizona and I visited Sedona. And a lot of people have difficulties accepting that Egypt is in the United States. The Grand Canyon, Sedona have relics that are much older and predate that in which we've seen in ancient Kemet. And so I just wanted to show you guys this in the book. I went there on my own. I actually had participated in the tour of these ancient relics, and I've seen them with my own eyes. The next time I go to Sedona, I will definitely do a live video so that people can see this. But as you can see, this is Osiris. This is a monument that was built in Sedona. You can see the rocks are red where the water, where the rocks were underneath the water. That means that this place was underneath water. The Great Flood. The rocks are red. When the water oxygenates the sediments, they turn red. Okay. And then you can see in the rocks as well, Isis. This is in ancient Kemet. This is in Sedona. There is no denying what you see right in front of you. I have seen these ancient statues with my own eyes. You can see her curves and everything is right there. But this is just a book that they give us from the tour. This is the Temple of Isis. That is her freaking throne. Listen, you guys, this is in Sedona. And when you go to the Grand Canyon, there are some other gods that have written books that have shown these things. Here is Thoth. Thoth is the bird being. You can see his beak and everything sitting right here. This is the ancient Kemet. This is in Sedona. Ra in Sedona. Thoth in Sedona. Thoth in Sedona. Okay. This is also Horus in Sedona. The rocks are worn. This is Anubis in Sedona. The rocks are worn. Okay.
Right. Why would the rocks have a pointy thing like that? What
Hathor.
reason?
This is Hathor here. The rocks are worn, you guys. This is Sedona. This is Ma'at in Sedona. Akhenaten in Sedona within the rocks. Akhenaten in Sedona in the rocks.
That does kind of resemble something a little bit.
Why would the rocks have those like just sharp, jaggedy edges like that? That is kind of like.
These predate Kemet. The rocks have been underwater and they have experienced wear and tear, massive amounts of wear and tear. Here's Thoth again. Thoth, the god of wisdom, right? The bird being, the beak in Sedona.
Well, that ain't no natural rock formation having a sharp edge like a beak like that.
And what else do we have here? We have camels, baboons. Look at that face. Look at that face right there. In the rocks, in Sedona. You cannot deny this.
One thing I can't deny is the many different faces that's lining up in there. So it looks like definitely there was some carvings. And the fact that water oxygenizes when the rocks turn red, that might be something added to it too. Hey, this is the first time I've seen this. This is a live reaction.
Me too. Me too. It's live for me too.
This is my first time seeing this. It's almost done.
Okay. The Sphinx. There is a Sphinx in Sedona. You can see this clearly. I'm going to find another angle. Oh, okay, here it is. You can.
I'm William Cooper. We're going to be talking tonight about what we found on our trip to the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Driving across the desert of Nevada, approaching from the Boulder City Highway, looming off in the distance is an incredible sight. If you did not absolutely know, we're listening to the hour of the time. I'm William Cooper. We're going to be talking tonight about what we found on our trip to the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Driving across the desert of Nevada, approaching from the Boulder City Highway, looming off in the distance is an incredible sight. If you did not absolutely know where you were at, you would tend to believe that you were delirious and had somehow been transported to the desert of Egypt. Rising up above the city of Las Vegas is a black, reflecting, huge pyramid, easily as big as the Great Pyramid of Cheops in Egypt. On the top of this pyramid is a crystal capstone, or what appears or looks like crystal capstone, reflecting the sunlight in every direction. If you've ever looked at a polished piece of black obsidian volcanic glass, that might give you some idea of what the surface of this pyramid looks like. As you travel closer along the highway, you begin to see looming up in front of the pyramid an exact replica of the Sphinx. And in front of the Sphinx, towering approximately 150 feet in the air, the phallus of Osiris, an obelisk, for those of you who have not followed our series on the mysteries. And if you don't know what an obelisk is, I'm sure you're acquainted with the Washington Monument. The sight is absolutely awe-inspiring. The sheer size of this structure is overwhelming. It covers an area so large that driving around it, one begins to wonder how in the world this could have ever been built, much less built in the short period of time that it was, in fact, assembled. During the time that the Luxor Hotel was under construction, a huge fence surrounded the area. They had armed guards on patrol. No one was allowed to watch the construction or see what was going on, except that part which...
They also say that they can't do the same thing, that
No
they can't
visitors
do
were
it.
allowed to watch the construction, and no press was given access. When we first drove to the Luxor, went around this huge, tremendous complex upon which this hotel sits, and then finally went across the street, parked the car, put our press passes on the front of our garments, got out with our video cameras. I looked directly across the street and was confronted with the head of Tutankhamun, who then promptly winked at me. Everything about this ninth wonder of the world, for it truly is, I can assure you, leaves one with a sense of awe, a sense of disbelief, overwhelming beauty. It is, in fact, beautiful beyond description. What I'm trying to do here is convey to you what I saw, and there are not words enough to do it. Now, if you've listened to our series
Wow.
on
That's
mysteries,
in,
you
in,
know
in,
that these
they
Egyptian
created that in
pyramids
Las
were
Vegas.
never tombs. They were not burial places or crypts for the bodies of kings or queens or anyone else. They were temples, great temples of the mystery religion, and they functioned for the purpose of initiation. I can assure you that the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas is a temple of initiation for the masses, the millions upon millions of people who visit that city each year, probably billions. Not just from America, but primarily from America, but also from around the world. For every single bit of symbolism connected with the mysteries is built into this hotel, beginning with the obelisk, which represents the generative force, the Sphinx, which is to remind mankind that he is, after all, only an animal who can think, and therefore is always engaged in this constant battle between the animal and the intellect. And then the great temple of initiation, the pyramid, this one with capstone intact, crystalline in nature, representing, as the sun reflects and glints off of every faceted side of it, representing the all-seeing eye. To give you some idea of the size of this structure, inside the building on the ground floor, 9 Boeing 747s would fit comfortably with no crowding and no problem. 9 Boeing 747. And those are the huge passenger jets. 9. Inside the building, there is an obelisk which begins at the lowest floor, which is below the ground floor, actually. Begins on the lowest floor, comes up through the casino onto the upper deck, and points directly at the center apex, the zenith of the pyramid, is another obelisk. It is an incredible sight.
Those giant machines be on a was in America. So let's type in. Forgive me, my knowledge isn't the greatest. If he had to look over the promised land, it would be Vegas. Would it be Vegas? Are they trying to say that's Jerusalem? There's no way. This is just, we would have to see some correlation here. And then they're saying the Mississippi. Would be the Nile. Where's the Red Sea at? Let's type in the Red Sea real quick.
The Red Sea is in Utah.
See though. The Moabites. I remember that. What is the Moabites?
Yet, and unto Dan, which is Daniel, Utah, and Naphtali, we found Nephi, and then the land of Ephraim, which we found, and the old town of Manasseh, which was next to Ephraim, which is no longer in existence, but it was there. All these places are in Utah, in that small area, which is right next to Mount Nebo, Mount Pisgah. So you'll be able to see all these places from the top of Mount Nebo, right? And the whole land of Judah. You'll be able to see the whole land of Judah, he told Moshe, unto the utmost sea and the South Sea, right? And what does it say again? More importantly, and the Lord said unto Moshe, this is the land which I swore unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes.
Let me tell you what he did. He had some pull. And what he did was he classified citizens into two simple racial categories. And that was white and colored. All Mr. Walter could see was in black and white. Mr. Plecker didn't categorize any dark individual to colored. Mr. Plecker pressured state agencies into reclassifying Indians as colored to wipe away the Indian legacy and their identity, so that way when Virginia Indians try to get their money, they're denied. And they're denied because now they're not classified as Indians, they're classified as colored folks. So basically, they found a way to reclassify native, indigenous, black people, God's people. They were able to reclassify them as if they were foreigners. And they were able to take their riches, take their land, right? The conquerors conquering the land and the people, right? And giving them traditions, right? And taking their lineage so that they cannot protect themselves. It's all right here. Virginia wasn't the only people doing this, reclassifying people, indigenous people, so that way their wealth, their legacy is given to what other race.
And one of the most fascinating places in Utah is Moab, Utah. In the Bible, Moab comes.
Y'all, this is my first time seeing this. This is amazing. So I wanted to start off with this one, but let me see if they're going to talk about anything different. All right, let's see. Let's look at this one.
Nations of both the Barbary, the Moors of Barbary, and the Moors of ancient Tartary. who both were of the Asiatic race and used their grace and splendor to free the whole world during the Dark Ages.
It's all of the churches and cathedrals that I've been wandering around Wales, looking at across the world in my series of Sarcerian stuff that I put on my channel. I'm convinced, and I hope that you can see it as well, that this is hidden right in your face. This is like a smack in your face. It's a pure smack of global gaslighting right in our faces. We see what it is, analyzing what it is. We're comparing these buildings across the world with their similarities and their purpose, their red bricks, their antennas, their towers, their cymatics, etc., etc. But then we come over and here's the museum, the Smithsonian Museum of America, telling us, no, we built this. We built all the same structures across all of America. It's constant, blatant fucking lies, and I'm sick of it.
Now I gotta go to the Smithsonian. That's the beautiful part about being.
People are cheering it on, and look at the size of it. This is not normal. This adds fuel to the fire of the fact that giant beings exist. Giant animals once existed, giants once existed, and here's to show that they still do. Thank you for watching, Mr. 76, signing out.
What is that? Hold on.
This fucking thing. This is a giant elephant and a bunch of people. I've just found a video of a giant elephant. This video seems to have been released accidentally. Look at the size of this fucking thing. This is a giant elephant and a bunch of people are cheering it on, and look at the size of it. This is not
Hell, aren't elephants giant anyway? Like, I need to get more context.
normal. This adds fuel to the fire of the fact that giant beings exist. Giant animals once existed, giants once existed, and here's to show that they still do. Thank you for watching, Mr.
Look at this crater that was on National Geographic. You talking about the Great Deeps being broke open? Man. And if we're looking at this, I can't help but. So what exactly is going on the moon then? Could there possibly be great deeps on the moon?
Hold on now. How could he zoom that hard into the moon? Come on now. Come on now. Wait a minute. Now. How are you zooming that deep into the moon?
Or is this the reflection? Is this honestly the
No.
reflection of the Earth?
The hell?
It a secret because they don't want you to know.
That's a crater. Where is that at? That's in America? Wait, I'm still back on the moon. How is he zooming into the moon so hard? Am I the only one that's like, what? How are you able to zoom into the moon that deep? Do he have a Samsung?
So what exactly?
How exactly?
So what exactly is going on the moon then?
How does this even exist that you can zoom that? Come on now.
Could there possibly be great
What is this?
deeps on the moon, or is this the reflection? Is this honestly
No,
the reflection
see
of
that line
the
right there? Wait a minute now.
Earth?
That's fake. Let me tell you how I know it's fake. Okay. All right, watch this.
Could there possibly be great deeps on the moon, or is this the reflection?
Back there. That's how you see people be.
So what exactly?
Let me show you some fake shit.
So what exactly is going on the moon then?
I don't even think this is possible. This is how misinformation gets. Whatever. Watch. The more he zoom in, watch.
Could there possibly be great
See how there's this
deeps
line
on
right
the
here?
moon, or is this the reflection?
See that line? See this right here? Somebody, what is this? What's this line? That's not natural. They created this. So that's the thing. People be
Is this honestly the reflection
there's
of
no way
the
that they can zoom in, do all that bullshit.
Earth?
I don't care who Google is, they ain't got that much. Now maybe the satellite just take picture after picture and just I don't know. But that I don't know. Maybe I'm not being too much of a skeptic, but
Possible.
oh, this is them trying to say that that the floods were because of the firmament got broke.
Another interesting finding was the discovery of mummified bodies inside the citadel. None of the mummies found were less than 2.74 meters, and all were wrapped in dark linen. Kincaid said he had taken photographs of one of them with the flashlight. However, none of those photos were found. But according to the Smithsonian, there was never an archaeologist named Kincaid. According to them, they said that story was completely fabricated. But yeah, I'm gonna need y'all to keep following me. And as I mentioned in some of my previous videos of the Grand Canyon, some of the areas are restricted. Some of the areas are a no-fly zone. What are you guys hiding? Are they hiding the fact there are pyramids or hieroglyphics or Egyptian ancient artifacts in the Grand Canyon? Not only can you fly over the Grand Canyon, certain areas of the Grand Canyon, you can't even bring a drone to fly over certain areas of the Grand Canyon. No.
No flex zone. No flex zone. No drone zone. So that's interesting, but the next one I want to show y'all is Antarctica, right? Shouts out to Billy Carson.
Civilization there, including some of the largest pyramids on Earth, right in Antarctica. He said he flew into an area that opened up at Antarctica, and he went into an area where it was lush and tropical almost. We have a new enemy that can fly from pole to pole with extreme speed. And he says they come and go as they please because nobody can stop them. There is a situation that began to happen during World War II where they discovered that the Nazis had went down to Antarctica and built a base down there, New Schwabenland. They were like, wait a minute, why in the world would they go to this desolate place? What's down there that they would want to go through the harsh weather and risk everything, risk even their lives to be down there and build a base? Now, there's an incredible story that was in Admiral Byrd's diary that was found by his kids, where he said he flew into an area that opened up at Antarctica, and he went into an area where it was lush and tropical almost. And as he got into this area, this is according to his own diary, people can look this up, something took over his plane, and these two UFO type craft, circular craft, flying saucers came, and it took over his craft and it guided him in to this area where they landed. And then they took him to meet somebody that he calls in his diary, the Master. Pretty interesting story. And according to this account, the Nazis had gotten help to create these craft called the Hanabu. They had 4 versions of this craft, these circular disc craft, from these people down there. The guy, this Master, told him that they were wary of the nuclear bombs that had just been utilized, dropped the nuclear on Japan and so forth, and they were wary of our experimentation with nuclear devices and wars because they're sharing this planet as well. Pretty interesting story. And so, all of a sudden, Admiral Byrd's going down there with a fleet, not just a small fleet. He took over 3,000 people with him. This was a huge expedition. It was a military expedition. When he got down there, they had a situation where some of these flying objects were attacking some of their ships and actually destroyed some of them. Sent him back home packing with his tail between his legs. This is one of the top admirals literally the top admiral in the world at the time for the United States military. He said that we have a new enemy that can fly from pole to pole with extreme speed. Why would he make a statement like that? And then all of a sudden, these Nazi, they are rumored to have these craft, which some of the designs have been found, called Hanabu. And these Hanabu craft had the capability of utilizing a couple different forms of propulsion. One was jets, so they could take off vertically. They had little jets that would thrust and take off vertically, but then from there, they can shoot off horizontally. Well, they were using a device that was spinning in the center of the craft. And what it appears to be is they began to copy technology from the ancient Indian Vedas, because Hitler was sending his people all around the world to get knowledge on ancient technology. That's how they found these people in Antarctica. He even sent people to Tibet, Nazis to Tibet, to talk to the people in Tibet to find out about this ancient technology. He found out about Vimanas, and these people supposedly in Antarctica helped him develop a couple of them, where they use a ferrofluid vortex engine. A ferrofluid is a liquid metal like mercury. And in the ancient Indian Vedas, if you take mercury and rotate it at a high rotation, a high RPM, and electrify it, you get something called anti-gravity. So he was utilizing something that had rotating discs underneath these round craft, according to eyewitness accounts, and also the schematics that were discovered during the collapse of Nazi Germany. And it's pretty interesting that I think besides the uranium that's down there in Antarctica, which obviously you know what uranium is used for, right? Nuclear power plants and also nuclear weapons. There's mountains. Admiral Byrd said there were mountains of coal with no ice caps. No ice caps, his exact words. And I can give you a copy to this video. His own mouth is saying, no ice. Mountains of coal that can satisfy the world's need for coal for a very, very, very long time. Also, there's plutonium down there. Again, so uranium and plutonium, we know that if you have a high level of plutonium and uranium, it's one of the easier elements that you can separate the atoms. You can split atoms very easily, which makes it high use for weaponry and also power plants. So that's why the government wanted access down there. That's why the Germans wanted access down there. And that's why after Germany fell, we had Project Paperclip, where we took all the scientists from Germany that had learned all this wisdom and knowledge, and we brought them to America. People think
Man, let me tell you something. I think all these like UFOs flying that people are seeing are really people that's on Earth doing that, and that we actually have the ability based on this technology to fly UFOs ourselves. There's no aliens coming into our atmosphere and doing it. These people are already on this Earth.
Project Paperclip was just a small number of Nazis. We took over 2,000 Nazis with us and brought them to America and put them in positions of power over technology companies, the CIA, the space program at NASA, and so forth and so on. And we began to develop these technologies. So in a weird kind of way, America became the Fourth Reich, to be honest with you. And I know that they were developing at the time Hanabu number 4, which supposedly Hitler never got killed. He escaped in Hanabu number 4 to Argentina, which is very, very close to where? Antarctica. If you look at Google,
there's a whole like group of people that are like Nazi Germany. There's like a whole like town in Argentina that are like German speaking like ex-Nazi soldiers that are in Argentina right now.
Sky right now on the computer and look down on Antarctica, you'll find bases from research bases from every major country in the world there. And you'll also find the Rockefeller Foundation base as well. So Admiral Byrd was right. All the technology and research, it's the #1 place in the world for technology research is right down there in Antarctica. I believe that as the ice is melting, they're finding remnants of an ancient civilization. We know that Antarctica was not a frozen tundra for 12 million years, like mainstream science says 12 million years to build up all this ice. No, that's not accurate. We know this because of the Perry Reese map. The Perry Reese map shows Antarctica what it looked like without ice on it, and that's not even that old. So we know that Antarctica shifted into that spot. How? Because we know that Antarctica is surrounded by tectonic plates. And so that landmass was on a plate that slipped and there was something called a pole shift of the crust of the Earth, which shifted it from a more habitable climate into the position it is now. And that's why the animals that are being uncovered from the ice were flash frozen with undigested food in their stomachs. And there's an entire advanced civilization there, including some of the largest pyramids on Earth, right, in Antarctica. Like they make the one at Giza, the Great Pyramid, look like, a buggy, a dune buggy. I mean, these things are super massive. There's only a couple things we know. Like one of the pyramids is 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers at base.
Wow.
The height is just, it's massive. It's way up there. Like, it's in the thousands of feet. But also, one former military person that was a source for Linda Moulton Howe, this was on a documentary she was in. She said that source told her, after going down there for research, I guess in private security, that it was still emitting some type of exotic energy, which is pretty interesting because that was the second time I heard a statement like that. The first time was on a documentary that came on Discovery Channel about the Bermuda Triangle when they found those pyramids off the coast of Cuba down there, right? Which is clearly scanned. Everybody knows that they exist. But this guy was taking he would get off the boat and take like a dinghy out to float to the center area. And he said the same thing. Some type of exotic energy was draining his batteries on his cameras. He had to try 3 times to get this thing recorded properly. He said exotic energy. And what's interesting is if you take a perfect line and draw it from the tip of the Bermuda Triangle, the center of the Bermuda Triangle, straight through the earth, you come out at the Yonaguni Pyramid at the Dragon's Triangle in Japan, which is also rumored to have disappearances and exotic energy and all this other crazy stuff. So in some way, these pyramid structures around the world are all linked with potentially portals of some type or energetic portals.
The Antarctica Treaty. Do you know about this?
Yeah, that treaty was to allow peaceful collaboration of research and science down there, no war zone. You can actually go down there. There's a guy who's got a new show on my TV network called, his name is Brad Olson. It's called The Secrets of Antarctica. He went down there, and so we're documenting the whole thing. He went down there, he pulled up on the research facilities. He had to get approval to come on land. They wouldn't let him inside of the facilities, but he did get a chance to go down there. So people who say it's impenetrable and no human being no civilian can get there, that's actually not true. You actually can. It's very expensive and it's very taxing on the body, but you can get down there. And so it's pretty interesting. So that'll be coming out soon. But there's an opening next to these research facilities. And this is why I believe they made this treaty, this sharing of information.
I encourage anybody that got any sense to watch Billy Carson because he be dropping jewels, okay? I don't know where he came from. He just came out of nowhere, but for some reason he has like a lot of information. I don't know why.
Treaty or whatever. There's a 30-meter wide opening there. You can see it on the Google Sky thing. And what's interesting on Google Earth, I'm sorry. And when you look at it, like what's in there? Now, why are they over here? And why are they so close to this gigantic opening? What's in there? I think the answer is whatever Admiral Byrd came across, or whatever they're coming across, I think it's linked. I think there's a remnant of an ancient civilization in there that possibly is still there. And they're in communication with them, in my opinion. Another thing that backs this up, I took a remote viewing course with Major Ed Dames, Project Stargate, former CIA, United States. And his project was for remote viewing. So I took a course with him several years. He was my actual teacher, my direct teacher. It wasn't like I was under some other people that worked with him. No, he was my direct teacher. There's pictures of me with this man. And he told me that there's beings that have easy and free access to come and go as they please from Antarctica.
Where did this guy come from? Where did Billy Carson even come from? Because I'm like, how does he have all this access to this information? I mean, if anybody ever like watched his channel, like who is this guy? I think he got more information than he should be a billionaire, a multi-billionaire, because the information he got, I think he know more about this stuff than Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is like billions a billionaire, right? Like, how does he know all this? It's crazy.
At one of these classes, class was over. It was like a 10-hour class. We were just sitting around talking, having a casual conversation. He told me a few other things, but that was one of the things that kind of stood out. And he says they come and go as they please because nobody can stop them.
Are you familiar with the bell?
The Nazi bell, the Die Glock?
Yes.
Yeah. The Die Glock is an amazing device that was being developed by the Nazis during World War II. This Die Glock, again, technology that they learned about through an advanced civilization that they were in communication with through the Thule Society. This Thule, Thule, Thule Society, they were using psychics to channel information from an advanced alien race. And they were taking this knowledge and then turning it into actual real workable technology. And so they had this thing in Germany called the henge, where they had these gigantic stone pillars in the shape of a henge. And they had the Diaglock in the middle. It looked like an acorn, a UFO type, but an acorn shaped UFO. And it had these multi-counterclockwise spinning pieces on it that was spinning all different ways. The ultimate purpose of it seems to have been some type of time travel. And this thing at one point, based on eyewitness accounts, it's turned on and activated and it disappeared from the henge. It was seen like, I forget how many decades later, I think it crashed somewhere in Virginia or something, according to these accounts. I got to look that up to make sure I'm not making a mistake there, but it reappeared later and it crashed somewhere, I believe, in the Americas. And this thing was the same exact shape and description as the Die Glock. And what was it for? I believe that they were trying to tap into time travel so that they can go back in time and change the past so they can have a Nazi dominant future. You see, they want to alter realities. The only problem with going back in time they didn't take into consideration is that if you go back in time, you can't alter the future reality that you existed in on the same timeline. Because when you go back in time, you shift into a different alternate timeline altogether, allowing you to go back in time in the first place and see even yourself. So it's like the grandfather paradox, right? If you go back in time and kill your grandfather, how in the world were you born to go back in time to kill your grandfather? Well, the answer is you shift into an alternate timeline. Now, going into the future, you stay on the same timeline. We know this because time travel into the future happens every day. Even when you get on an airplane, you travel into the future based on relativity. The person standing still on the ground and you moving across the sky in a plane, we know that you're moving forward in time by microns of tenths of a second, but you're moving in time. Same thing with astronauts when they travel into space. We know for a fact that because they're traveling at high speeds, they come back microns of a second younger than us. So traveling to the future, you can stay on the same timeline, but going into the past, you can't. So that whole thing would have failed anyway.
Please engage with this video by liking, commenting.
What? This is what I'm talking about. People be talking about all this other bull stuff. I'm like, dude, that is crazy. So let's get into, all right, so we talked about all this stuff. I wanted to bring all this stuff just to even get into what I really want to get into, and that is really just AI. You know what I'm saying? Because all this stuff is really leading to the fact that, he talked about time travel, time and space. Time travel is space travel. Because when you travel through time, you travel through space. Time travel is actually space travel, right? Let's go into AI. Let's talk about it.
At the year 2024 in AI space. Everybody knows just how crazy the year 2023 was, and now we really do need to look forward to what we could potentially be seeing in the future. I think this ensures that we aren't caught off guard by any new AI technologies or trends. So, let's get straight into this. One of the first things I think that we're going to see is the rise of AI influencers and verification techniques. For instance, there is a Spanish influencer created entirely by AI that generates its modeling agency $9,000 a month with 200,000 followers on Instagram. Now, it might not seem to be an issue on consumer side, but if you're a creator on Instagram and you're spending so much time creating content for your followers, it might get a bit frustrating for you when you see these fake AI influencers getting so much engagement like this fake Spanish influencer. It also means that in the future, not only are there going to be AI influencers trying to earn money, but I do think that we are going to be seeing something where a large majority of the internet isn't going to be real. For example, if I did see this person on the internet, I would assume that with 200,000 followers, they are real. Because of the rise of AI influencers where people have around 200,000 followers and it isn't disclosed, I do believe that this is going to fundamentally change the internet. Because right now on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, you could be an AI influencer without needing to disclose anything at all. There are no legal requirements, no European laws, and no digital laws that say you do. So, however, I do think that in the future, this is going to change. This is really important because if you remember several months ago, an image of Pope surfaced on Instagram, which everybody thought was real, but it was an AI image. Right now, there were so many things floating around on Instagram that we don't know what's real and what's fake. This is a real problem because for the average person like you and me, who's not in the media spotlight, we don't have an issue because our faces aren't plastered all over internet. However, for people who are famous, they continually get altered and their likenesses are used in these AI systems, so it's a real issue when these things happen. Now, you might be thinking, okay, they're famous. They should have signed up for that. That's what they signed up for. But think about this. Imagine you're a normal person with a small account, and then someone starts to use that technology to make you do something you haven't done and say things you haven't said. Your face might be used to promote things which are illegal, and it might get you into a lot of trouble. So this is going to affect a lot of regular people, and this is going to be a real issue. Take a look at this. This is a new AI-driven avatar animation, and you can see just how realistic this looks. And remember that this technology is only getting better, and the difference between real and fake is fading real fast. Now take a look at this. So here we have this AI product where essentially you just need a single image and a driving pose, and you can essentially make someone dance or make them do pretty much anything. So in the future, it is going to be difficult for social media platforms to verify a person's identity because a simple AI program would be able to fake anyone's identity. Now we move on to the next big thing we might get to see in 2024, and that is real-time text-to-speech. This specific AI will lead to lots of scams in 2024, but we'll come back to that later. Now, the problem with current text-to-speech is that a lot of the times it is limited in terms of how it sounds and how fast it is, but these systems are getting faster, the APIs are getting better, and the latency is getting shorter and shorter. So, what we're about to see here is PlayHT 2.0 Turbo, which is the fastest generative AI text-to-speech API. This essentially means that if someone back-engineered this, we could have real-time scams being absolutely crazy. You're about to see how this is absolutely insane. I'm going to ask you guys to listen to it, but don't focus on how the quality of the voice sounds, although it's good. What you need to listen to is, of course, the latency in which it is played, and the latency essentially just means how fast it responds to your message. So let's take a listen to this.
Hi there. I'm calling in regards to the purchase you made last week. Hello, Play Support speaking. Please hold on a sec. Let me just pull up your details real quick. Can you tell me your account email or your phone number?
What you just heard there just goes to show you how crazy this is. We got like 100 milliseconds response time in a simple message. So if you combine that with a model that's able to immediately read your message and is trained on thousands of persuasive scams to convince someone that's also trained on a voice of one of your relatives, that could be a serious issue. The problem is, remember, you only need a couple of seconds of someone's voice to train a model that is exactly like yours. Some softwares can literally take 3 seconds of someone's voice and make them say absolutely anything. So with that being said, this is going to be a real issue in the future, and I'm not sure how we're going to combat this just yet. Now, future scammers are going to be using AI technologies, and it's going to be really convincing. This is a huge problem because when you get an email, you easily ignore it thinking, okay, that's a dodgy email. But if you have a relative that messages you or is talking to you in real time on the phone and is saying you need to do this, you need to do that, how are you going to verify that? So 2024 is going to be a year full of AI scams. You better watch out for that. Now let's talk about the next important thing, and that is humanoid robots. With Tesla entering the robot industry, humanoid robots will be the biggest highlight of 2024. Take a look at this GR1 robot. This is the Unitree's humanoid robot, and according to some tech platforms, it is going to cost you around $80,000. Like you're seeing right here, he literally kicked the robot and it's still walking, it is able to balance itself, and that is a truly amazing feat. Now you're seeing he's giving it some real good kicks from the back too, and it's able to balance itself without falling apart. What we've achieved in last 2 to 3 years in robot industry is crazy. Now imagine what we're going to achieve in the next 10 years. And what's even crazier is that we've been watching all kinds of robots from last 5 years, but they were all super expensive. But now with all these new companies entering the market, the robot prices are coming down really fast. Now what's even more interesting is that these robots will be combined with large language models like GPT, and of course, this is going to lead to some real-time conversations with these robots, which is going to be really incredible. And essentially in 2024, what's probably going to happen is we're going to have advanced robots moving at an accelerated pace because we have a platform called NVIDIA Omniverse.
And let me tell you something. The other thing that's really weird about this whole thing with these robots and the GPT and the AI, is that it's happening quick. You know what I'm saying? You guys need to really follow this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Really follow the AI because the AI stuff is about to pick up real quick. They're talking about this whole eclipse, and I believe that after that eclipse happens, then they're gonna really start pushing this AI stuff really fast.
where you can basically get synthetic data through millions and millions of tries, and then you can use that synthetic data to train your own robot. Using NVIDIA Omniverse, they taught a robot hand how to spin a pencil, which is definitely a very complex task for a robot hand, and this is the result they got after hundreds of thousands of attempts. Now we move on to the next big thing coming out in 2024, and that is the first ever video game NPCs. In 2024, we will see AI-powered characters in games with generative AI. These characters would have the ability to self-train and self-evolve. So essentially, they'll have human-like intelligence. Now, I really don't know how this is going to go down, but it's going to be one of the most insane things ever. Here, what you're about to see is a demo of the first video game NPCs.
Yes. What do you want?
Do you know what an NPC is?
No, I don't. Should I?
You should. You are an NPC.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
An NPC is a non-playable character. You're not real.
Not real. What are you talking about? This is all so confusing.
What are you trying to do, man?
I'm trying to figure out why I am here and what I should do next.
So why are you here?
I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that I'm here to fulfill some kind of destiny.
What the
Okay.
hell?
Do you think that we live in some sort of simulation?
Maybe. I just don't know for sure yet.
Do you think that you're real, I'm real?
I'm not sure what to believe anymore.
What if I told you you're in the Matrix, buddy?
That would explain a lot, but I'm not sure I want to believe it.
What if I told you you're an AI?
That would explain a lot, but why would I be here?
Maybe because you're programmed to be here.
That would make sense, but why was I programmed this way?
Okay, so my story is basically that you're an AI.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
What the fuck?
You're an NPC in a video game.
Hell no.
That sounds frightening. Is that the truth?
It's
my
the
God.
sad truth.
I see. This is a lot to take in. Are there any other answers I should know?
Not really.
This is very overwhelming. I'm not sure what to think or feel right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really real.
That's hard to process. Does this mean I don't exist?
You exist sort of.
What does that mean? Am I real or not?
It means that, after I close this game, you don't exist.
Oh, I see. So I'm only here for as long as the game is running. That's difficult to comprehend.
What the hell?
Yeah, and then once you walk past this border, you're gone.
Gone? That doesn't sound promising. What does this mean for me?
Now, that was something that I found to be completely just the most fascinating things I've ever seen, because these AIs were having an existential crisis about not being real. So yeah, it was definitely fascinating to see this video because these AIs were having a complete meltdown knowing that they weren't real. These games are like creating another
It wasn't like a meltdown. What? It was like, what do you mean? What's going on? I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I'm sorry. That's crazy. She's like, what do you mean? What?
world where characters have same intelligence as humans. With AI entering video games, we might get to see some characters doing really crazy and unethical stuff. Maybe that's the reason why Steam has banned all AI video games from its platform. So with that being said, I do think that someone out there is going to create the first video game. I don't think it's going to be on Steam. I don't know what platform it's going to be on. It's definitely not going to be on Xbox or PlayStation, but I do think that it's going to be like a solo kind of developer where you can play a simulated game. But either way,
It is definitely going to be on Xbox and on PlayStation because they want you to sit there and watch and play that crap all day long to the morning light. If you can like talk to these people like real people, they can get your attention, sell things to you. Yes, it's going to definitely be on all the PlayStations. So watch for your kids. These AI games are going to be coming to you in the near future.
I think that probably will come. And I think what will happen as well in terms of the wider AI industry, in terms of gaming, is that maybe one person is going to do it and then monetize it. And then that could spark the whole entire gaming revolution. But it will also be interesting to see how companies deal with AI entering the gaming industry. Because as you know, if an AI does something that's unpredictable or something that the companies can't predict, there's no way to ensure any kind of safety. So if they get the AI to do something that's, completely out of character, it might invoke some kind of legal trouble. For example, this video game, No Man's Sky, which was supposed to be a completely generative game. It was basically a game that was generated generatively in a sense that every time you explored an island, it was supposed to be completely new and everything was supposed to be new for the user, and it was supposed to be impossible for you to get a duplicate world. But I think it was just a little bit before its time. But now, with generative technology coming into effect, this game is definitely going to move in that direction. Combining it with the AI generative capabilities with open world generation. Now we move to the next major thing of 2024, and that's of course autonomous agents. So this is a clip from Sam Altman, and he's actually talking about autonomous agents and stuff like that. Here we have a clip of the MIT director Daniela Russ and OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman discussing the future of autonomous agents. So let's first take a look at this clip.
Language interfaces that can control agents is certainly another logical step that people really want. The answer will be like, start slow and, set the training wheels very low. And then as we understand the risk surface and where it's okay and where it's not, we can make thoughtful, risk-adjusted decisions about how to move those training wheels up. But the upside here is going to be tremendous for people. If you think about having an agent that you can give a task to help you with whatever you're trying to do and be confident it'll go do it, that's awesome.
Daniela?
I really like the idea of agents, whether embodied or not, that can help us with cognitive and physical work. The embodied agents would help us with physical work, and the non-embodied agents would be like our super assistants. And so the question is, how do we get to the point where these agents can actually deliver on the tasks that we have to do? And so in the future, I really imagine progress in connecting the tools that we have right now with more extensive capabilities that will give the agents the power to do better interaction with the physical world, that will give the agents the ability to do common sense reasoning and to do human understanding. Perhaps at some point, we will even get to agents who can understand us emotionally. But there's a long way to go before we get there.
So that was the video. Now, these autonomous agents are going to be really hard to do because the problem with agents is that not only are they autonomous, but they also need to make the...
The first thing they're going to put that into is a sex doll. They're going to put that into a sex doll so it can feel your emotions and all that crap. That's what's weird about this. You know what I'm saying? They're going to put that right in.
right decisions consistently over a long period of time. If the agent commits a mistake along the journey, the computer could freeze and the whole system could fail, and that could stop an autonomous agent from being successful. So it's going to be interesting to see how autonomous agents do work in the future and how we manage to tackle that problem, because what we do know is that several tech giants are spending lots of resources to somehow achieve this feat. Now take a look at this demo. So this is a self-operating computer being controlled by an autonomous agent. So agent is asked to go to Google Docs and write a poem about open source software. And then you can see it going ahead, browsing google.com, then it opens Google Docs and starts writing the poem. So essentially, this is what I'm trying to explain, that autonomous agents are going to change the internet fundamentally. Because if you have autonomous agents going around on the internet, creating documents, browsing web pages, and watching videos, then get ready, because in the coming years, you'd see an invasion of these agents all over the internet. And if you thought you had bots on the internet before, well, that was just the tip of the iceberg, because now we're going to have real bots working all over the internet. Now we move on to the next big thing coming in 20...
Wait a minute. That means these things can, so you can program this thing. You can say, go on somebody's YouTube page and put a bunch of chats in there that's saying da da da. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah,
2024. And what we have, guys, is AI warfare. So essentially, the US Air Force is moving pretty fast on AI-piloted fighter jets. And according to the experts, the AI pilots inside fighter jets would be extremely effective for any Air Force in the world. This is an excerpt from the article, and it says here that once you get through the process of connecting an AI to a supersonic fighter, the resulting maneuvering is endlessly fascinating. We have seen things that make sense and completely surprising things that make no sense at all. Thanks to our safety systems, programmers are changing their models overnight, and we're engaging them in the next morning. This is unheard of in flight control system development, much less experimentation with unpredictable AI agents. Now take a look at this video. This fighter jet is being flown by an AI pilot. It has no human pilot on board. And despite that, this AI-controlled fighter jet can perform all sorts of maneuvers. It can destroy enemy targets precisely, and it can also engage in dogfights with enemy planes. Recently, the most insane news came out that US Air Force is going to induct this AI system into 6 more F-16s. Now, there is a huge downside to having AI pilots flying fighter jets. What if these AI systems get hacked or these AI pilots go rogue? Because in that case, it might end up killing lots of people on the ground, and that, of course, would be awful. But we do have the fact that every time a human life is on the line, that is something that we don't want. Thousands of fighter pilots have lost lives in the battlefields, so if you have AI flying the planes, it might help save a lot of precious lives. Oftentimes, pilots lose consciousness while maneuvering the aircraft. It happens due to increased G-force. So the blood drains from your head when increased amount of G-force is applied to your body, and you eventually pass out. And of course, this is not good because you know, if you're in a dogfight, you're flying around the G-forces in order to maneuver.
Bro, you don't think they already got like some UFOs that's being like controlled like that already without like no pilot being in the thing? That's where all our UFOs are coming from. That's how they're able to like do the non G force thing of going back and forth side to side. That's where UFOs come from. They already got this technology. They've been had it.
If you want to turn left or right really quickly, the G-forces can hit you. And if you're not trained enough, you can pass out. You can crash the jet and die. But imagine having an AI system that doesn't experience G-lock because it's just an AI system. It's empty, it's not going to have fear, it's not going to have any kind of hesitation. It's going to know exactly what to do. This AI pilot system is being trained in all kinds of different simulated battlefields with different scenarios. And once it fights itself in a bunch of different battles, and it figures out what strategy the enemy is going to use or how to dogfight in the best way, it is going to be able to
We are teaching AI how to fuck us up. We are teaching AI how to kill us because they're putting like AI into fighter jets. Are you kidding me? And then the fighter jets are gonna have its own will and do whatever the hell it wants. Are you serious? Man, what?
feed all sorts of enemies in all kinds of terrain. It trains itself the same way as AlphaGo. If you don't know what AlphaGo was essentially a board game in which the AI played itself millions and millions of times. And because it played itself millions and millions of times, it knew exactly what to do every single time and developed unique, crazy strategies that nobody would have thought. Do you not think an AI system, if they manage to keep training it just on flying jets perfectly, it's going to be just the best fighter pilot on the planet? I think it's going to be absolutely crazy. There's no way that humans are going to be able to beat that kind of intelligence. Bloomberg posted this video of what they titled as Autonomous Reusable Fighter Jet. This autonomous fighter jet can literally blow up enemy drones. So essentially, you can just deploy it from a very small platform without any runway. It would fly into any kind of war zone, and since it's an autonomous jet, it would identify enemy drones all by itself and start hunting them one by one. Now think of it like this. US Air Force could have a network of these jets, essentially like a network of them. So you can have like a swarm of these jets flying around, protecting borders or going into war zones and destroying enemy targets with high precision.
Or destroying humans. What? What are they doing? Like, what are you doing? What are y'all doing? Y'all crazy. What are y'all making? Y'all making something that could kill us.
It would also drastically reduce fatality rates in armed forces, as you could have an army of these autonomous jets protecting you from the enemies. Another thing that's going to happen in 2024, and it is also one of the most important things that you need to watch out for, is of course the disinformation campaigns in the upcoming US 2024 election. Now, this isn't just the US 2024 election, but you need to watch out for all sorts of disinformation campaigns, because this is going to be something that will affect our whole society. You have to understand that AI-generated images are not just of the presidents or political figures or famous celebrities. For example, there was actually an AI-generated image of the Pentagon blowing up. This image that you can currently see on screen was in fact AI generated. I know it doesn't look like AI generated, but you might be thinking, okay, this is just an awful image. What does this even matter? Because I'm not going to believe that. But you have to understand, those of you who are watching this channel, you're more considered the tech-savvy demographic because you're paying attention to the AI trends. However, majority of the people out there don't actually pay attention to AI trends. They don't know what's going on. So they straight up conceive this image as true, and their reaction would be far different than yours. But you have to understand that those of you who are watching this channel, you're considered as the tech-savvy demographic because you're paying attention to the AI trends. However, majority of the people out there don't actually pay attention to AI trends. They don't know what's going on. So they would straight up conceive this image as true, and their reaction would be far different than yours. Now, this Pentagon's fake image had so much impact that it was literally able to drop the US stock market by a couple of points. Now, this happened in earlier 2023, and you can imagine what kinds of other things are going to be happening later on in 2024, because these AI-generated images are only getting better. Now, take a look at this. Someone on Twitter posted these pictures of French President Emmanuel Macron, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden. Now, these images look so real that lots of people would have considered them to be real. Now, you might have gotten my point that how this whole thing could become a large disinformation campaign, and if applied to 2024 election, it has the potential to change course of our history. So this is it for today's video. Tesla kind of just dropped a huge bombshell yesterday, showing off the Optimus robot Gen 2, and the progress Tesla has made here is just mind-boggling. So if we go back just 1 year, in September 2022, Tesla revealed their first prototype of the Optimus robot during the AI Day event. At that time, Optimus robot looked like a skeleton. It couldn't bend its head, couldn't do a lot with its hands, couldn't even properly walk. Basically, with that prototype reveal, Tesla just wanted to reveal that they have entered the robotics industry. Tesla had established a great robotics team. They worked day and night on their first humanoid robot, and after a year, they finally came up with the first generation of Optimus robot. In September, Tesla posted a video.
Man, listen, I think they already have this shit like just stockpiled somewhere in like a cabinet, and they're just releasing stuff as time goes on. They've been had this robot
Revealing Optimus Robot Gen 1. This robot was a huge leap forward as compared to the prototype Tesla had revealed back on AI Day event. They gave this robot great-looking hands with so many different movements. It could stand on one leg, even do some yoga. It could sort colored blocks by itself. They gave it a human-like body, and it also walked pretty much like humans. And now, only a couple of months later, Tesla has revealed Generation 2 of the Optimus robot. It is completely built with Tesla's in-house components. And man, the difference between first and the second generation of Optimus robot is just insane. But before we dive further into the details, let's just take a look at the official video released by the Tesla Optimus team.
Hell no.
So, now the robot can look up and down with 2 degrees of freedom. It has got hands with a lot of different movements just like a human. Here, take a look at this, how delicately it is able to handle the egg and even shift it from one hand into the other. So, the first thing to really notice here is the pace of progress. It is just beyond anything else out there because 2 years ago they had nothing to show, and now they've got a robot which is capable of handling an egg. Now, what makes Tesla's Optimus robot stand out among all other robots out there is, of course, its brain, because Tesla's Optimus is not being programmed. It learns everything by itself, just like us
By
humans.
itself.
A senior engineer working on Optimus Robot posted on X a few months back. He said, super excited to share our team's progress over the last few months. We can now accomplish long horizon tasks, such as sorting blocks fully autonomously in a completely task-agnostic way. So meaning the system is flexible and adaptable, it can handle a variety of tasks and programming problems without needing explicit instruction and programming for each specific task. He further wrote, just collecting more data, and we can train a new complex task without changing any code. This is
Man, the people that are doing this, what the hell are they thinking? They are creating soldiers and like pretty much because that robot will F somebody up. Then they got fighter jets that'll F somebody up. They are listen, this is not cool what they're doing. I'm sorry. I mean I get it, technology and everything, but no.
is really what people need to understand. This Tesla robot is learning and doing tasks without any code or program instructing it what to do. It works 100% on machine learning. It learns stuff by observing and then tries to perfect itself by repeating those tasks again and again. Making a robot learn everything by itself might seem a bit unrealistic right now, but with all the AI advancement happening these days, it is a highly possible feat. Now, Tesla's Optimus has one big competition in the industry, and that is Atlas Robot, built by Boston Dynamics. So while Boston Dynamics Atlas Robots looks really impressive and all, but it lacks one major element, and that is self-learning. Atlas Robot can't do anything outside of what it's programmed to do. On the other hand, Optimus is built different. It can learn stuff on its own. There is no manual programming. It can train itself from video data. In theory, it could learn and perform basically anything that is possible with its body, including cooking, cleaning, or driving, etc. And that's also the very reason that Tesla designed it in human-like shape. Jim Fan, a senior AI scientist at NVIDIA, wrote on X back in September about how Tesla might be doing all of this. In one of his tweets, he said, "So it knows the consequence of its actions. That gives the self-correcting ability shown in the demo where one of the blue block landed on its side, and the robot paused for a second and then corrected its own action and got the blue block to sit correctly on the tray." He further said, "It's such a great decision to follow human mythology closely, so there is no gap in imitating humans." Atlas from Boston Dynamics only has gripper-style hands. In the long run, Optimus Biodexterity 5-finger hands will prove far superior in daily tasks, and the new hands on the robot are just looking amazing. Elon Musk also posted a reply to Optimus' video on Twitter saying, "So much in engineering has gone into the hands. In a year, it will be able to thread a needle." Yes, the hands, combined with the brain, of course, are just the most...
It'll be able to thread a needle and it'll be able to punch you in the face. So think about that. For real. What are we doing here?
most important thing on the robot, so it can actually do some useful stuff and help humans. The pace at which Tesla has built Optimus Robot is shocking for the entire robotics industry. If Tesla succeeds in making this robot commercially available, it could turn Tesla into a trillion-dollar company. This Twitter user made a post on X regarding financial impact of this humanoid robot for Tesla and its shareholders. He said, "Imagine the affordability of leasing or renting a Tesla bot once Tesla achieves full-scale production. Picture this. A Tesla bot could be yours for as little as $40 a day. With a bot working tirelessly for 16 hours a day, the costs break down to a mere $2.5 per hour. So how much profit could Tesla make per bot? Well, with an annual revenue per bot of $14,000 and 41% net profits, Tesla could see an impressive annual profit of $5,895 per bot per year. Apply a conservative PE multiple of just 30 and the value of each bot to Tesla shareholders skyrockets to $176,000. Now, this is of course a big prediction for the time being. Some might think that this is just unrealistic, but I think that this is not unimaginable that a working robot will be a one-to-one with every human in the world. And if Tesla succeeds in deploying 100 million robots in future, its market value will exceed $17 trillion. To put this unconceivable big number into perspective, the entire world's combined GDP last year was $95 trillion. So it's definitely a big number to even think about. But remember that Elon also owns a space company, SpaceX, which is trying to establish colonies on Mars. So who knows, Elon might send these robots in space to help
Please ship those suckers up to space. Don't have those on Earth and be messing up the Earthlings.
humans build a world out there. Millions of these robots could be sent up there for this task. So possibilities are basically endless. Hundreds of millions of working robots, or even billions, is not completely off the table. So looking at the future of Tesla's future potential and only looking at them as just a car company would be silly at this point. Elon is going in heavy to take his slice out of robotics industry, and he seems to be moving in the right direction. What do you think about this new Optimus robot? Give your opinion in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed today's video. See you again next week with another amazing video.
Now you guys can clearly see that that was an actual AI video, 100% AI. The person talking was not a human being; it was an AI. You know, and I want to ask you guys. So I want to show you guys like so. I've been doing some things with AI, and it hasn't quite gotten to the point. You know what I'm saying? Certain AI that I've been working with have not gotten to the point. There's like a Sona app, a Sora app that is way more advanced. It's called Sora, right? But I want to like kind of give you guys a let you guys see some of the things I've been doing working with AI because it looks it's kind of crazy, you know how it looks. But I tried to make a video because I've been working in this Sono app, Sono AI, just like creating like different music and stuff like that, just to see because I'm a producer, but I'm a songwriter, but I've not been able to like really make any songs and stuff like that. And some of the results could be kind of good, but then some of them could be kind of crazy, right? So I'm gonna just show a little bit. The intro video that you hear along with the video was done in AI. So let's check out what that song sounds like.
Nice energy, darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy. Now is the time, it's all up to you. My house in the middle of the night again. Lie to yourself, keep begging someone else. I ain't going for it anymore. What are you wasting my time for? You can't change a real. I am worthy of abundance. It comes to me every single.
So this is like created by this thing called the Sono app. So now the way the AI works in this is it could be kind of corny. So let's say, all right, it says a heartfelt indie song about a faded photo in the on the mantle. Let's see what it comes up with. And it happens this quick. So I wanted to show you AI, show you the things. So right now they're giving us these like breadcrumbs like of AI, right? But as you can see, AI is way more advanced. They're just giving us this little stuff to play with, tinker with. But it's way past all that. You know what I'm saying? Way past, right? This is our little playground that they give us to like fool around with AI. So based on this description, this is the song.
In the corner of a room, a faded photo hangs, a snapshot of a love that time could not contain. Through the dust and cobwebs, I can still see her smile. In the corner of a room, a faded photo hangs, a snapshot of a love that.
Right. So so that's just an example, right? So let me just pick somebody's name, Danny Lynn. So I'm gonna make a song about Danny Lynn real quick on this. So let's do an R&B song. No, a hip hop song about Danny Lynn. Let's create it. Let's see. It's really this quick. It doesn't really take that long. Probably maybe about 30 seconds. Danny Lynn, the rhyme machine. Okay, let's see. So right now, like AI is kind of like funny. You know what I'm saying? They have all this advanced stuff, but they're giving us stuff like this, like small stuff to tinker around with to get us used to like AI, right? So here, let's hear the Danny Lynn, the rhyme machine.
Danny Lynn, she's got the flow, spitting fire with every syllable. She goes from the East Coast to the West. She's the baddest MC, she is the best. Her rhymes are sharp, her words are tight. She's got the rhythm that'll keep you up all night. When she grabs the mic, the crowd goes wild. Danny Lynn, she's got that style. Danny Lynn, she's got the flow, spitting fire with every syllable. She goes from the East Coast to the West. She's the baddest MC, she is the best. Her rhymes are sharp.
Let's do an R&B song. Let's do a little more. Okay, let's see. Let's go deeper. About Danny Lynn being in love. Let's Danny Lynn, your rhymes are sharp. So it can be kind of corny, right? It's like kind of funny, you know what I'm saying? So right now, like they're like making AI to be kind of whimsical. It's putting out some bullshit. Now earlier, if you actually watch the video earlier, you're gonna see like it looks kind of crazy. The AI is like, honey, fighter jets, robots, but they're giving this to us to be able to just play around with AI to not be afraid of it, right? But in reality, like the things that they're creating is kind of creepy. So let's hear Danny Lynn.
Brown eyes like fire, burning through my soul.
Brown eyes like fire, burning through my soul.
Brown eyes like fire.
It's still kind of glitchy. Hold on, let's see. Reload it.
Brown eyes like fire.
Okay. See? So it still kind of have little glitches to it. Let's do let me try something else. Let's see. A country song about Danny Lynn. Lynn eating corn. Let's see. Let's see if it'll work. It is kind of late, so I don't know. It might be glitching out on us right now.
Burning through my soul. Lips so sweet, they taste like honey on the tip of my
Got past my
tongue.
little daily limit of song.
When you smile,
I was doing the song for my daughter.
time stands still.
Down in the holler where the corn grows tall. There's a country
I want to show you
the
the song I did for my daughter. Her name is Austin. And it was so funny because
heart is golden as the sun.
like making a song about her being in the tag and that. And it was like,
I'll set the princess of the sun so high.
okay, there must be something going on. Hold on.
With a crown on her head, she touches the sky.
I know these songs work.
Shining bright like a diamond in the night. She's
Down in the holler.
in the corner of a room.
find out why. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try to do the country, but I gotta find out why the sound's not working. Let me try to just put up a YouTube. All right. Okay. While I'm all right, I'm gonna try to play this and see if it's the sound in general. So, the song, my theme song, I tried to make a video for my theme song, right? And this is the video that it made, okay? And I put the prompt, like, okay, well, whatever, put a prompt in about, I don't know, it won't show me the prompt, but let me show you how kind of creepy the video that makes is. It's kind of weird. Watch this. Hold on. Because it haven't quite got the eyes right. But I'm like, they lying to us because if you can like fly a fighter jet, you can get these eyes right. So let's go. Let me show you how creepy it can get. Okay, the sound's not. Hold on, let me get the sound correct. I think there's like an update or something. Hold on, let me see my sound. Can y'all hear the sound on y'all end when I'm doing stuff? Hold on. Don't think in my speakers. Let me see. Hear the sound? Okay, I don't know what's going on. My sound's acting weird. Let me try to like just play a YouTube video. They hating on me. They hating on me. Hold on, let me see. Let me try a YouTube video. It's weird. Why my whole sound? Listen, why my sound go out on my computer right now? I think I might be. I don't know, man. I might be sharing too much information, man. I might be getting. Let me try. Okay, let's try it. Okay, it the computer put it on mute for some weird reason. Okay, I didn't put it on mute. The computer did it on its own. All right, so check this out. Look at how creepy this is. What the hell? What the what? Hold on. I'm sorry. Y'all probably didn't see it. Let me start over. Okay. Let me show y'all.
Nice energy, darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through.
Wow.
Now is the time, it's all up to you.
What is that? What is it doing? What is AI seeing? What is AI going through? AI is. Can you hear? Can you see this? Do y'all see that? What? So right now it's like it's like weird. Like what is it? What is it seeing? What is AI going through? AI tripping right now. So right now they giving us this access to like do these little things with AI, right?
Nice energy, darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you.
Creepy. You hear me? What? No, it gets worse. Okay, it gets worse. It gets even more weirder. Like I should show you the first one. I'm gonna show you the first one I did because I was trying like to do one. Show. I mean I put a prompt in. Okay, showing like tragedy to triumph, and you know what I'm saying, like with the whole theme. Okay, that's not. trying to like show like, you know, like they can just, because my objective was to create like a song and then like make a video and do everything in AI. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, let's see how far AI has gotten, right? So I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna show you my first ever video I did with this, and it's okay. This is y'all. This okay. Hold on.
Nice look energy. Darling, let your spirit be free.
What in the world?
Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you.
Cheerios. I don't eat no Cheerios or Frosted Flakes ever again in life. What the hell? Be like, what? So I'm like, so this is the technology they're using to fly fighter jets and planes. So I'm like, this shit is not all the way stable. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they got like another check they ain't tell us about. Because I was just like, okay, my prompt was, you know, show like a person going from tragedy to triumph. You know. Now this one even is more creepier. Okay, watch this one.
Nice look energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you.
What in the world? And they're making what is that? What? And this is the I don't know if they I think they either have like some AI that they have not released out yet, but they just know they have it like in the because they're talking about like flying fighter jets and doing all kind of crazy stuff with this. But when you put in a prompt, it's very clear. This is what you get. And they're basing this like they're trying to get fighter jets to fly and robots to operate. And these robots can just slap the crap out of you. You know what I'm saying? No ma'am. You know what I'm saying? No ma'am, no ham, no green eggs and ham. No thank you. Okay? So let's go into the Danny Lynn songs. Let's hear how these came out. Okay? Here we go.
Danny Lynn, she's got the flow, spitting fire with every syllable.
Brown eyes like fire, burning through my soul. Lips so sweet, they taste like honey on the tip of my tongue.
Ooh,
when you smile, the world stops and time stands still.
What?
In your arms I find peace, love that feels so real. Every touch, every whisper sends shivers down my spine. With you I feel alive, like everything's aligned. You're the rhythm to my heart, the melody in my veins. Every moment with you is like dancing in the pouring rain. You're the one who fills my heart with love. You're the one I've been dreaming of. Danny Lynn, you're my heart of gold. Forever with you, I'll never grow old.
Honey, that lean, honey, like the legs like honey.
Brown eyes like fire, burning through my soul. Lips so sweet, they taste like honey on the tip of my tongue. When you smile, the world stops and time stands still. In your arms I find peace, a love that feels so real. Every Every touch, every whisper sends shivers down my spine. With you I feel alive, like everything's aligned. You're the rhythm to my heart, the melody in my.
I gotta put them in there. Have already downloaded the app. So
Down in the holler where the corn grows tall, there's a country girl dangling so small. She's got a heart as golden as the sun, and every day's a hold down, just having fun.
all right, Kenny Lynn. But yeah, I wanted to like just show y'all like just like I started off like about the different parts like the whole like America was Antarctica whatever. It's been about 2 hours. I'm not gonna keep y'all for any much longer. Please rewind it. I mean, I put up. I mean, I like put a whole bunch of information on this live, and I think we're gonna end this live with a nice country song about Daddy Lynn, and we're gonna sign off. Thank you guys for checking me out, checking us out. Thank you for being a part of this.
Down in the holler where the corn grows tall, there's a country girl dangling so small. She's got a heart as golden as the sun. Every day's a hold down, just having fun. She's got a smile that shines brighter than the moon, and when she's dancing you can't help but swoon. With a straw hat on her head and boots on her feet, Daddy Lynn's the sweetest thing this town will ever need. Corn sweet Daddy Lynn, she's got the country flair. She loves her cornbread and she don't care. With a guitar in her hand, she's saying,
you know what, Lily? Since you've been here this whole time, I'm gonna make a song about you. I think I'm making a K-pop song. It's gonna be a K-pop song about Lily. Hold on. About Lily J. Lily J. All right, here we go. Gotta love that AI, that quick AI song generation. Man, this has been a fun night. It started off kind of crazy, but Hippie will be here, soon, but I tried like to do it tonight, but it wasn't in the car. So I'll let you guys know when we do the real one. Okay, Lily J, you've been here, you've been rocking with me this whole time. Thank you, Lily J, and here we go.
Lily J, the queen of the scene. With her style, she's got us all hooked up, so keen. With her charm, she's got the whole world on her side. Lily J, shining bright, she's got that star. I can't deny. Lily J, she's a K-pop sensation. Dancing and singing with such clarity, take it higher. Lily J, send the stage on fire, fire. Lily J, send the stage on fire. Lily J, breaking records, it's a grand feat. With her voice, she's got us grooving to the beat. In her performances, she gives it her all. Lily J, captivating hearts, she's standing tall.
That's the only thing about when you let AI, they be saying like little just basic. She really cool and just real corny, but
Lily J, queen of the sun, with her sun, she's got us so hooked, oh so cute. With her charm, she's got the whole world on her side. Lily J, shining bright, she's got the star power, can't be denied. Lily J, she's the K-pop sensation. Dancing and singing with such dedication. She's got that fire. Take it higher. Lily J setting the stage on fire.
No, we can't go out. We can't go out like that. No, we can't go out there. That was okay. We gotta have a sexy song the same way Danny Lee had. We're gonna do an R&B song about Lily J. 'Cause that was you setting the stage on fire, taking it higher. Lily J is setting the stage on fire, taking it higher. Like they just so when you let AI kind of write it for you, it can be kind of corny. Like you're like K-pop song, singing it loud. Lily J can rock the crowd. It just be like corny. So I like actually put my own lyrics in and let it like kind of like process. But this is actually a fun like thing to play around with. So it was fun. It's fun to me, you know. So all right, let's do before we gonna sign off with a R&B. This is Smooth Alchemizing Energy 101 with Lily J.
She's got a rhythm that moves in her soul. A voice that makes you lose control. Her melodies, they captivate your mind. Lily J, she's one of a kind. Every note she sings is like velvet in the air. Her lyrics speak the truth. She knows how to share. Her music touches hearts, heals the pain inside. Lily J, she's got the magic, no need to hide. Lily J, oh, she's got that soulful sound. This takes you to places you've never been. Lily J, she's a queen, a star in her own right. With every song she sings, she shines so bright.
Thank you guys for everybody who's talking who else? Who else been? Simply Alicia. I think I'm gonna do a song for you. Next time come back here, we're gonna have a custom song for you as well, okay? But I like to thank you guys.
Energy. She's got a rhythm that moves her soul. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend, let your mind